Our love for family, our goals and dreams, our biggest whys to succeed remains. Now, the pandemic made it even stronger than ever. Our hearts still full of hope, aflame, alive, steadfast in our mission to help fellow Filipinos around the world be free from poverty and achieve financial freedom.
Can you name me a company that has more than 100% growth during this pandemic? Tayo lang sa IMG, more than 100%, 200% growth.
You're building a community of fighters, not a community of quitters. We are all fighters in IMG. We fight against poverty and we fight for our dreams.
Lahat ng top builders dito are all working together in making sure na maging successful kayo. So how can you fail kung lahat kami mag-work para yumaman kayong lahat? You can never fail.
This is the IMG 30M by 30 Campaigners Summit, the launch of Wealth Builders.
Live from the Makati Financial Center, this is Summit, the launch of the Wealth Builders, with our special guest host this morning, Binibining Pilipinas Universe, Karen Lauren Agustin.
Good morning, IMG! Hello to all of you financial educators and wealth builders. An exciting morning is about to unfold as we celebrate your success, the peak of all of your efforts despite the challenges. Congratulations to all of you who live and breathe the essence of our mission to help more Filipinos be financially educated. Sabi nga nila kahit na may pandemya, walang magbabago. Tuloy pa rin ang ating misyon. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you IMG Wealth Builders across the Philippines and across the globe, please help me in welcoming movers, shakers, influencers, the big three, Mr. Bart Borja, Mr. Joen de las Peñas, and live from the IMG Financial Center in Cebu City via Zoom, Mr. Noel Arandilla.
All right. We welcome all of you. Noel?
Morning, everyone.
All right. Thumbs up nga to everyone that are right now. We are live to all of you, and we are here for our summit for the year 2021. We start our summit this year, and I hope that everybody is ready. So can you put in your chat box there, we are ready for this summit? And I see everybody put a chat there. We are breaking all records in 2020. We have broken a lot of records, but I believe this year, 2021, we're even very much stronger. You know, in 2020, we persevere, but in 2021, we're going to conquer. You know, a lot of people sometimes lose hope, and IMG was there to give hope to a lot of people. Last year, there were so many people who became successful in IMG, and I believe that this year, 2021, we will give more hope to a lot of people. A lot of people were wondering how we become more successful, how we become bigger and able to help a lot of people. And my answer is that because things has not changed. The pandemic cannot change the love for our family. The pandemic cannot change the care that we have for other people. The pandemic cannot change in making us become financially free. This year, our main mission is to become wealth builders. This is a very important part in us because this is not just to create wealth for us, but this year we have a bigger mission. You know, the mission of becoming a wealth builder. And you have to understand why you're here today. As you listen to us the whole day, you put some sacrifices today. this is a Sunday and you put some sacrifices today for your family, it's simply because you want to be able to help a lot of families. So I salute all of you who listen. I know you're listening not just for yourself, you're listening also for other people. And this is the best way that we can help a lot of people. You know, the new normal, we're Zoom, we cannot touch each other right now, but at the end of the day, even we cannot touch each other right now, we still love each other, right? So we love everyone, we care for everyone, and that's the most important thing. And that's the reason why we're very, very successful. So we persevere, but at the same time, we conquer a lot of difficulties, and pandemic becomes nothing because of our belief and because of our platform in IMG. And I hope that this year 2021, will start a very good year for all of you. Again, welcome to this summit. Focus on this summit. Make sure everything is ready for you because we have a lot of things for you, especially later on in the afternoon. And that's the reason why today we're very strict on the registration. So I hope, congratulate for you to be able to come here. I know a lot of preparation, but there were also some people who missed the train. You know, they were not able to register on time. And we hope that next time they should be able to register on time. But for you guys that are here today, we welcome you. And let's start this year 2021 with very strong and perseverance. And let's be victorious this year. All right, Bart?
Yeah, before I start, can you all stand up and siguro let's do the wash to start the morning?
All right.
Ha? Okay, so everyone, lahat ng mga katabi nyo, patayuin nyo at lahat ng mga mahal nyo sa buhay nandyan sa tabi nyo ngayon, mag-wash tayo. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoosh! World team, one dream, one system, one heart. All right. Okay, welcome to our 2021 IMG convention as our summit, okay, our convention of wealth builders. I guess today, okay, we will just strategize today. We have a lot in store for you. We have a lot to share with you today because you know what? This is not wala dito ang laban, okay? The war is out there. So today we will strategize. Today we will tell you how to conquer. Today we will tell you how to start conquering the poverty starting tomorrow. So but the war is out there. So I guess in the next the whole day you have to listen, you have to focus and learn. Okay? Because the war will start tomorrow. The war against poverty will start tomorrow. Tomorrow we will campaign. We will reach out to those who need financial, financial assistance or financial checkup. Or tomorrow we will conquer poverty. Okay, starting tomorrow we will fight against poverty. Okay, and help a lot of people financially. Okay, hindi ko tayo magpapautang, pero tutulungan lang natin sila magkapera. Pero, you know what? Today, we just focus on what we should do. We should focus, marami ho tayong isi-share today. You'll be excited. By tomorrow, you'll be excited to go out there in helping a lot of people. So, today, let's just focus and strategize. Okay, to all the leaders, okay, tomorrow you have to how to start the conquering poverty. Okay, thank you very much.
Right, well,
Hello, good morning, wealth builders. Good morning, campaigners all over the world. So welcome to the IMG 30 by 30 Campaigner Summit. This is our Wealth Summit. So this month, March, I realized this is our 19th year of existing. 19 years of helping families achieve financial freedom, changing people's lives, and we are making this opportunity bigger and bigger. We are very, very consistent and fighting for poverty. We are workforce of the financial industry, we've been realizing this building an elite fighting force to wage war against poverty, to fight war against poverty. And despite of pandemic, year 2020 is the best year for all of us when it comes to our performance of helping families. And the first 2 months of 2021, we're doing the same. And the ballistic growth for 2020, I know it can happen again. And the first 2 months, talagang nangyari, ano? Talagang ballistic growth pa rin. So we're so happy to be with this IMG and with a platform we have established so many years back. So this year is another year to make your biggest dreams come true, and also your team members. This is your time. So this convention, stay focused, maximize your learnings, and sinasabi ko nga, prepare na ninyo yung toothpick ninyo dyan. Ang toothpick, hindi yan pampalinis ng ngipin kasi kain ng kain. Itutukod nyo sa mata ninyo kasi baka natulog kayo dyan. And that word, no, na idlip kayo can change your life. Sayang naman. So, one day lang naman, talagang stay awake. And always, sinasabi natin na the purpose of this training is not just to learn, but always preparation to put this into action. So, at least masaya. And another thing, this is just another preparation for the annual convention in June. So we are building our business. We are preparing our team, the campaigners, the wealth builders, from event to the next event. So again, welcome everybody, and stay safe always. God bless. And stay focused. Thank you. Back to you, Bart and Joy.
Okay, thank you, Brad. All right, so start the day. So to start the session, well, our first speaker is not just our business partner. He's been with us for so many years, and you know him very. He's not just a business partner. He's not just an investment coach. He is a very good friend to us. He's like our big brother when it comes to investment. So, ladies and gentlemen, our mga IMG kapamilya, okay? So let's all welcome our very good friend, Mr. Rex Mendoza.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bart. Thank you. Thank you so much for this great opportunity again to touch base with all of you. Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat. I'm quite excited for today as much as Joanne, Bart, and Noel are. I think that this is a milestone. It's going to be opening of our door. Sabi nga nila, bukas, paglabas natin, bukas, bukas ng bukang liwayway, meron tayong panibagong lakas. We're going to be having a newfound, renewed strength, and we will be out there to pursue our mission relentlessly with so much resilience. Now, I really have a very, very meaty presentation today. Let me just share my slides if I'm going to be allowed. I'm not allowed screen sharing for the moment. I'll be asking our host to allow me, but much like every convention, I think you know me, we will have a combination of a market update and also something that you will take with you on this level. Okay, now I'm on. Let me play this slide. Do you see it now? Does everybody see my slide now? Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so it's the Campaigner Summit. It's our convention for 2021. We have to be focused now because this is something that will impact not just our lives, as Joanne mentioned, but the lives of our loved ones and other people who we need to help. So let me focus again, first of all, on the market, on investments, And then after that, let me get into, again, personal growth and development. Totoo, mas importante nga yung side na yun eh. Kasi alam nyo, ito namang market update na ito, in about a month or two, this will change. This will change. Many things change. However, our own personal take, our own inner strength, the way we are empowered, will always be a given. It is not what the environment is, it is how we respond to it. And that's the reason why that second half of my talk is very, very important. Pero tingnan natin ito, yung market, I'm sure, many of you who are invested, many of you who have been, putting money in our funds, in the Soldivo funds, in the funds of our other partners and principals, might be worried about the way things are going. So let me just tell you the thematics of the 2021 business outlooks. Lahat po ito, I'm not talking about ours, I'm not talking about mine, I'm talking about all the business outlooks na na-attendan ko. And mind you, I attended a lot of these updates. From, fund managers to wealth, private bank wealth managers, and even global analysts. So ano ba yung tinatawag na themes nila dun sa kanilang mga projection? Number one is the fact that everybody's saying this will be a year of two halves. A year of two halves. Hindi mo daw pwedeng tingnan ang 2021 as just one straight year. It will be cut in two. And those two halves will be performing very, very differently. So, what am I saying here? Yung unang half daw will continue to be pessimistic/skeptical. Bakit? Like what we're seeing today. Nagkakaroon ng surge, medyo may problema tayo, marami tayong kaibigan na nasa ospital, and the numbers are staggering, nakakatakot po talaga. Di ba? So, somehow, that is kinda affected the markets. Kung makikita nyo yung markets from a very strong start, we hit 7,400 intraday, and then we went to as high as 7,300 closing for a single day. Now, we're very, very far from that. So parang all of a sudden, nagbukas ang 2021, people are very optimistic, tapos all of a sudden, biglang naging pessimistic. Biglang bumababa. All because I think of this COVID factor. But let me just tell you that that's a storyline and a narrative we have to manage. Kailangan po importante din isipin natin yan. Kasi alam nyo naman, markets always need the news to move accordingly. There are technicals of the market that are rules, they're always followed. Minsan po, naghahanap ng kwento. So that first half is going to be a volatile, bumpy ride. However, yung second half, ano po ang mangyayari? Sa second half, mag-uumpisa na po tayong magbakuna. As we see it in other countries now. And that's the reason why I want to tell you. Kasi yung mangyayari sa iba, mangyayari din sa atin yan. Okay, pagpalagay na natin, mabagal tayo, may problema ang gobyerno, may problema ang health department. Tama yan. I mean, like you, I share the sentiment. Pero, alam naman natin, di ba, kahit huli tayo ng konti, mangyayari pa din yan. The second half will be very different. When we start inoculating, when people get the vaccine jabs, by the end of the year, syempre, we're always going to be better than 2020. Bakit? Eh, yung 2020, walang vaccine eh. The whole of 2020 never had a vaccine. So why will we be lower than 2020? By the second half, we will have more and more people vaccinated. Eh kahit nga 10 lang ang mavaccinate, better na yun than 2020 because 2020, we didn't have it. Second, alam naman po natin, ang death rate mas mataas noong 2020, especially during the start, March, April. Why? Because we don't know the virus. We don't know the virus. We don't even know how to take care of the people who are going to the hospitals. Eh ngayon po may mga protocols na eh. Alam na ng mga doktor, alam na ng mga nurses, they have medicines, remdesivir, marami pong panlaban na alam nila kaagad, nalalagyan ng antibiotic, nabobombard ng vitamins, alam na po nila. Dati hindi nila alam kung paano mag-respond eh. Kaya in panic mode tayo. So technically, on the second half of the year, people will begin to realize, this has to be a better year pala. Hindi pala ito dapat kagaya nung noong 2020. Then we will see developments and improvements. Ha? Doon yung sigurado natin, makikita natin yan. And I guess you will all agree with me. This has to be a year better than 2020. However, it's not gonna be good for everyone. Ha? Tingnan nyo. Look at the K-shaped recovery. A lot of people will say V-shape, L-shape, U-shape. Narinig natin lahat yon. Ngayon, very important, sasabihin ko to sa inyo, bagong recovery, K-shape. Wow! Ano itong K-shape? Ang K-shape recovery, hindi yung buong ekonomiya magre-recover agad. Siyempre, may mga mahuhuli. Some industries are gonna be growing fast, but some industries are gonna be lagging behind. Kaya letter K, maghihiwalay ng konti. Siyempre po, travel, hospitality. Some countries are gonna be locking down. Some countries are not going to be allowing travelers in. So, syempre, yung mga industriyan yan, medyo maiiwan ng konti. They will probably begin growing again by next year or 2023. Pero may mga maaga na at mauuna na sa recovery. Okay? So, doon nyo po makikita yung K-shaped recovery. Some will be doing better than others. Now, ang importante pong tanong dyan, saan kaya si IMG dyan? O hindi ba? Yan po ang mas matinding tanong. Kung K-shaped recovery yan, si IMG ba doon napunta sa baba o talagang dapat pataas? I think alam naman po natin ang sagot dyan, di ba? 2020 pa lang nga, nagtatala kayo ng mga magagandang record eh. In fact, hindi na nga kayo kasama dito sa K-shape eh. Nauna na kayo sa B-shape dahil parang 2020 was a growth year for you. Eh siguro naman po dapat lalong-lalo na ang 2021. So that K-shaped recovery will be something for all of the industries to see. So you now know as an investor saan tayo lalagay. Now, there is a real worry about inflation. A real worry about inflation. Tataas po ang bilihin. Why? Kasi po, syempre, factors of production, medyo tumataas ang cost. People are not out, they are fairly limited with their productivity. So, syempre po, yung cost of production umaakyat din, including raw materials because of the logistics issues. So, nagmamahal po ang mga bilihin. What does that tell you? Aba, kailangan po maghanap tayo ng magagandang yields. That's the last thematic. We are always going to be looking for better yields. Why? The fixed income market, the time deposits we have in banks are going to be challenged. Aba, magkano na lang po ang interest nyo sa bangko ngayon? Yung dating savings account, yun na ngayon ang time deposit. And let me tell you, it will stay the same. If not, it will even go lower. Because governments around the world will be pushing stimulus packages. Bababa pa po yan. And that's the reason why it is incumbent upon all of us, okay, to manage our money. Kasi pag sinave mo lang yan, hindi ka marunong mag-invest, guess what's going to happen? You will lose its value. Sigurado po ang talo dyan. Kaya alam natin dapat kung saan tayo pwede maglagay because inflation is a value killer. Inflation is something that will damage your value. And we have to deal with it. Sabi nga po ng iba, di ba? Dati, pag bumili ka ng baboy, kumain ka ng baboy. Di ba? Sabi nila, umuupas tayo ng konti sa baboy. Ha? Pag masyadong maraming baboy tayong kinakain, maha-hypertension tayo, maha-high blood tayo. Ngayon po, hindi nyo na kailangan kumain ng baboy para ma-high blood. Bibili kayo ng baboy, high blood na kayo. Di ba? Ganun po ang nangyayari. Kasi ang mahal. At as I told you, magmamahal pa. So, we will have to, as investors, look for avenues to increase our propensity to earn a little bit more. The investment narratives for 2021 are all captured in these three bullets. Number one, economic rebound to accelerate with above-trend growth in 2020. Very important po above-trend growth. Bakit natin sinasabing above-trend growth? Kasi yung bawi niya, ang baba ng base ng 2020 Hindi ko po sinasabi na ang ekonomiya natin sa 2021 better than 2019. Ibang usapan po yun. Above-trend growth is because our performance this year is going to be comparable to 2020. Dahil pag kinumpir mo yan sa 2020, mababa ang base. Guess what? Siyempre, malaki ang kanyang growth rate. Now, lalong-lalo na as pent-up demand is unleashed. Can you just imagine today? Delikadong-delikado pa nga eh. Pero ang dami ng taong lumalabas. Talaga pong hindi nyo na mapigil yung, yung talagang desire ng mga tao to socialize, desire ng mga tao to buy and consume. Nandyan po yan eh. Can you just imagine if we have, like let's say, 70% of our population vaccinated already? Can you just imagine where people are gonna be? Can you just imagine what they're gonna do? This is called pent-up demand. Pent-up demand is when people have, taken, the time to build up on desires to do certain things that they cannot execute on because of the pandemic. So meron po diyang ma-unleash na pent-up demand. Second, fiscal monetary stimulus to persist well into the new cycle. Tutuloy po ang mga gobyerno na mag-unleash ng tinatawag na stimulus packages. Yung stimulus packages, magpiprint sila ng pera, magpapautang sila sa mga kumpanya. So ano po mangyayari? Babaha po ang cheap money. And that's the reason why inflation is a risk, but the governments will not going to be too worried about inflation dahil po ang inflation, okay? Masyadong problema ng mga gobyerno yan. Ang problema nila is getting back the country or their own country into the pathway for growth. At importante din po na maayudahan nila ang naghihirap. So if you give people money, all the better. Last, turbocharge structural trends. Talaga pong may mga kumpanya, may mga organisasyon na talagang lilipad. Lilipad. Bakit? Kasi po, natutulungan sila nung pandemya. Alam niyo, nakakatuwa? Because I realized last year, based on my conversation with the big three, with Doris, you know what I understood? That IMG is part of that. That this pandemic has actually been a blessing to IMG. Lahat tayo, nagka-oras. Lahat tayo, nagkaroon ng paraan to reach out to other people seamlessly. Dati mini-meeting pa natin, ang hirap mag-imbite. Ngayon, in the comfort of your own home, pwede tayong mag-Zoom meeting, pwede tayong mag-Viber, WhatsApp, and WeChat calls. And then we can do what we needed to do face-to-face before this. So ano nangyari? Abay, naitulak pa ho yung ating advocacy. Because situation is, we don't even have to be physically there. Even in Rambur, I saw this happening. Di ba? Dati, nakakamit ako ng kliyente namin sa Davao when I fly there. Dati, nakakamit ako ng mga tinatawag naming VIP clients pag nandun ako. Ngayon, hindi na ako kailangan pumunta doon. In fact, I can meet with any client here, virtually, any time of the day, without traveling. So, di ba naging blessing pa yon? So who are going to be blessed by this? GCash. Alam niyo ba ho ang GCash? There are over 33 million registered accounts. And daily, 10 million are using it. Daily. Alam niyo ba ang target niyan? Ang target niyan dati? 10 million active accounts. Daily users, 1 million. Ngayon po, 33 and 10. Can you imagine that? Because of this pandemic. So there would be a function of sustainable investing, meaning continuous investing, and e-commerce to go with it. Now, reality bites for the Philippines. Ito po talagang, syempre, sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, may problema talaga tayo eh. So, because of this management issue, the management of this pandemic, we're quite behind. Let's face that. No? The restart and the recovery may take longer than expected. So, maantala tayo siguro 1 quarter, 2 quarters because of the way we've been handling it. Now, let me be very clear with this. I love the Philippine economic team. The Philippine economic team has done magic for the economy. Talaga pong maganda ang handling niya. Unfortunately, yung ating health side ang medyo kapos. Doon tayo nagkukulang. And that's the reason why the economic team cannot do so much. Because our health situation is still dire. Alam nyo, mapapakita ko mamaya in one of the slides, We're not doing really well compared to our neighbors. Pero, even as I say that, alam nyo ba that companies have decided to begin planning again? To begin investing again? If you follow the news, lahat po na malalaking kumpanya, Ayala Corporation, Ayala Land, Globe, SM, PLDT, lahat po yan naglabas ng capital expenditure budget. Ang budgets nila, all higher than 2020 and by a big margin. What does that tell you? Last year, they were spooked. Last year, they focused on liquidity. This year, they're investing again because they're already looking forward to the future. Last year, their mode was survival. Kaya liquidity eh. Pag survival ang objective ng isang kumpanya, ang is liquidity. Pero ngayon, nakatingin na sila sa growth. Hindi na survival ang kanilang objective. And when your objective is growth, you have to begin investing. Kaya across the board, yung mga malalaking kumpanya po, nagtataas na ngayon ng tinatawag na capital expenditure budget. Lastly, because of these low yields, we will have to overweight equities and real estate because they are the restart opportunities. In a situation like this, the best investment, instruments will be those that are equity-laced, stocks-related, and real estate-related. Importante po na alam natin yan. So, tingnan niyo itong tinatawag na GDP growth and forecast. CC pa po talaga eh. The early part of 2021 and the whole of 2021, aakyat yan. The average is high. And why? Because we have a very low base. Pero, after 2021, it will normalize to around 5 to 6% again. So, ito po ang bawi. Ito po ang recovery year. And then after that, we will begin to normalize. Now, ito po ang issue natin. Makikita nyo, our infection rate has skyrocketed this past week. And I guess, if you captured my conversation with Noel earlier, sabi nga natin, hindi pala namin alam, naririnig nyo pala. Pero ang pinag-uusapan namin, as you have close friends and family, that's relatively, near to you, at alam nyo, nai-infect sila, talagang may issue na tayo. The more and more people we know, that just means our numbers are really getting high. And the problem here is not just the infected numbers. The problem is the positive rate. Out of every 100 that take the test, abay 15% po ang nagpa-positive. So that is a very, very high infection rate. That's a reason why we all have to be very careful. We all have to be very careful. The nice thing about IMG is that you can pursue the business. You can pursue the advocacy of helping others without exactly leaving your home. So we will have to strategize and make sure that while we're keeping safe, that we're also pursuing our dreams. Pero ito po, this is the reason why our market is getting to be a bit shaky. And when I say a bit shaky, meron po tayong worrisome numbers. Ayan. Last 2 days po yan ng ating data. And this is from the DOH. They cannot hide this. In fact, it tells me this can be rather understated because some clinics weren't able to even report. These numbers are the highest numbers ever. Siyempre po, I'm not gonna say talagang in reality they're higher numbers kasi naman ang totoo, in the first quarter, March, start of second quarter, hindi naman talaga tayo nagte-test eh. So, hindi natin talaga alam kung magkano or ilan yung infected. Ngayon, nagte-test tayo. So, at least alam natin. Last year, hindi natin alam, but this is higher than August. Noong August po, nagte-test na rin tayo. So, when they said that we had the second surge in August, nagte-test na tayo noon. And this one is even a worse surge than August. And this is why it's very problematic. This is the reason why the market was spooked. Natakot po. Itong dahilan. So, does this mean we don't have to invest? Does this mean back up mo, step back muna tayo? Ganun ba ang ibig sabihin? No, let me tell you that it's not done that way. Ito po, totoo to eh. Di ba? Ayan, COVID cases now higher than the PCI. Di ba? Napakasakit po. Yung COVID cases, yung number, tinalo pa yung Stock Exchange Index. Dati yung Stock Exchange Index, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. Di ba? Tapos yung COVID infection, abay bumaba 1,000, 1,100. Di ba? Nag-below 1,000. 1,000 na. Samantalang yung PSEI, nasa 6,004, 6,005. Bumaba. So, nakakaiyak po talaga for people who are expecting the PSEI to recover strongly this year. But again, sasabihin ko po lahat sa inyo, di ba? Lagi ko itong paulit-ulit na sinasabi kadalasan. It will always depend on your perspective. It will depend on your perspective. Kasi karamihan, ang basa, personally, would be disempowering or limiting. Naku, bumaba na naman. Lugi na naman ako. Another person will be exposed to the same thing. Uy, bumaba. Humaba pa yung panahon para makapag-accumulate ako. Binibigyan ako ng chance a little longer to add a little bit more. Kasi last year, medyo natatakot na ako. Wala na, kapos na ako. Ngayon, nagka-cash flow ako. Meron akong panlagay uli. At parang kinakaon ako ng market. Bumaba ba para maganda yung cost ko. So, what am I telling you? It depends on your perspective. It depends on your perspective. Now, let me just share with you our perspective. IMG, Kaiser, MB Life, Manila Bankers Life. All of the companies that are managed by the same team have actually increased their level of commitment to the market and to investing because of what's happening. Ang sa opportunity ito eh. A lot of people will say, it's a crisis, it's a time to run, it's a time to avoid. Other people will say, it's a crisis, I have to take advantage of. Sayang to. Opportunity ito, hindi na natin to makikita. Imagine niyo, pag nabakunahan ng mga tao, at alam natin talagang mangyayari, di ba? Makikita pa kaya natin ang mga presyong ito. I think you all know the answers. It's just that when we are scared, we are afraid to become factual. We don't rely on facts and information because we are scared. That's the reason why I want to tell people, hey, we are here to put you on track. We are here not to scare you, but to tell you, oops, can be an opportunity. Look at why foreign investors dislike us. Abay, tayo po ang outlier. Lahat sila pababa, tayo pataas. Why? All of them are beginning to vaccinate and vaccinate their populations fast. Po, ilan pa lang ang nabavaccinate natin? Less than 100,000. Less than 100,000. Some countries are doing it at their This is our market for 2021. Ano po ang nangyari? Bagsak ng 12% agad yan. From the high of January, we're down 12%. We are down 12%. So people are spooked again. Will it go lower? Will it go further? I don't know. But all I'm saying is, this will be shorter-lived than 2020 because we all know by the end of the first quarter, the vaccinations will hit a level where they are becoming significant. Kasi po wala pang private sector eh. Ngayon ang binavaccinate natin, frontliners pa lang eh. Frontliners pa lang. By the end of the second quarter, we will be starting to vaccinate citizens, workers, and employees of companies. So can you just imagine, by the second half, kung regular na uli ang pagpasok natin sa opisina at ang trabaho ng mga tao? Ang hindi po nakita ng marami ito eh. You know, sometimes we're so short-term oriented, we see the months that pass. We see the losses that pile up on the short term. Tingnan niyo po ito, hindi pa long term ito ha. It's still short term, pero umatras lang ako ng konti. Inumpisahan ko yung chart ng September 2019 hanggang ngayon. It gives you a very different perspective, di ba po? From January to March, umaba ng 12% eh. Pero, ang hindi natin nakikita, saan ba ho galing yan? From the low of 4,778 last year, March, abay, 53% up na po yung market natin. 53% up. We cannot expect markets to go up and up and up. They will go up and down, but the trend will have to be upwards. That's where we're going to be differentiating our view. Ang laki po ng inakyat eh, di ba? Natural, magkukorek dapat yan. And a 12% correction out of a 53% surge is normal. It's just retracing 20% of the growth that has happened in the last few months. So yung surge po na sinasabi, yan ang dahilan para magkaroon ng correction. Sometimes in the investment world, you might be perplexed because that's the truth. Sometimes a technician will tell you the market is poised to retrace and correct. Kasi kailangan mag-correct, hindi pwedeng steep eh. Hindi pwedeng parabolic. Pag parabolic ang bagsak niyan, ganun din. Kailangan mag-correct ng konti, tas aakyat uli, magko-correct uli ng konti, aakyat uli. 53% na po ang inakyat eh. So yung 12% is a good retracement, is a good correction. Now, pag sinabi pong expected correction, minsan ang market naghahanap ng kwento. At ang kwento ngayon, yung ating surge. Sometimes it can be the other way around. The surge, a lot of people will say, caused the drop in the market. Technicians will tell you, the market is poised for a correction. Hahanap ng dahilan yan para magkaroon ng correction. Now, whatever your view is, the important thing is this. Look at things in perspective. Eventually, you will be seeing a very different picture and you will be acting very differently. Ang importante po sa atin, minomonitor natin yung mga kailangang indicators na ating bantayan for our scenario analysis. Ano ba ang hinahanap natin? Ano ba ang mga pagbabago sa market na nakikita natin? Kasi there has to be a reason eh. You know why? If we get the vaccinations, pero the Philippines is the Philippines in 2019, then our growth will not be like that. Para pong ano din yan eh, parang IMG member din yan. IMG member, ang daming meeting, ang daming kinakausap na tao. Hindi ba? Pag nag-open up ang markets, guess what going to happen? Sanay ka na sa magandang habits, sanay ka na sa activity. When the vaccine comes and things open up, won't you even be doing better? So yung preparation during the pandemic, importante. Ganon din po ang ekonomiya. The economy has to prepare certain structural things that support higher levels of growth. So pag dumating yung vaccine, papalo tayo dahil preparado tayo. So let me show you. Yung pong tinatawag na PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, that is a focus on consumption, manufacturing, and retail services. Do you know that in the whole of the ASEAN, dadalawa pa lang ang positive, Vietnam and the Philippines. Vietnam and the Philippines. So, if we get the vaccine, that manufacturing number can take us to a very high level of productivity. IATF policy, yan, medyo minus po yan. Dahil yung ating vaccination progress mabagal, syempre negative impact because of the pandemic. OFW remittances, abay, plus po yan. You know, I say hi and I give honor to our OFW friends out there who are IMG members. Saludo po ako sa inyo. Nagpupugay ako. Why? Because last year they said, your remittances will go down by 20%. The global economy is slowing down. That's why remittances will drop by 20%. Alam nyo ba po ang drop? Less than 1%. Less than 1% ang drop ng OFW remittances. Hindi naantala eh. Less than -1. Di ba? So we're expecting that to grow back to about +3 to +5 this year. Bank NPLs, non-performing loans. Abe, dapat po ang taas ng non-performing loan. Eh yung mga bangko pala, strong balance sheets, strong banks, strong liquidity, nag-provisioning. Ilang po, kahit bumaba ang net profit, nag-provisioning. Ano para pag yung nangutang hindi makabayad, hindi sila magiging delikado. And even that provisioning is getting lower kasi optimistic na uli ang mga bangko. Our current account and BOP position remains okay. Yes, we're borrowing money, but we're borrowing money internally, bigger than what we are doing externally. So the peso is still very strong. It's still hovering at around 48, 49 levels. CPI, again, a negative because inflation is going up. The policy rate is a positive. The BSP continues to give stimulus inputs to the economy. But we're still, medyo cautious lending pa rin po. And because of cautious lending, ang mga bangko hindi pa masyadong nagpapautang. Now, let me tell you certain developments. Ito po, mabigat ito. Kung ito, walang pandemya, baka hindi ito napasa. But because of the pandemic, this gets passed, and this will help the country not just within the pandemic, but much, much after that. Ano po itong CREATE? It's now a law. CREATE is the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act. Ito po para makapagbigay ng ayuda, suporta, and most importantly, magpababa ng taxes ng mga kumpanya. So can you just imagine, yung ibabayad ko sa tax, I can now use to hire more people, I can now use to expand my company, I can now use to buy capital goods, equipment, to actually prepare for a better market. All companies will be thinking this way dahil po dito sa pumasang CREATE. And it's actually a very good law because it's performance-based, it's targeted, time-bound, and very transparent. Hindi na po tayo kailangan maging malapit sa gobyerno to get the incentives. You can qualify for the incentives depending on your performance. You don't have to have friends up there. Kasi ganun po dati ang incentives eh. Kung wala kang kaibigan, di ba? Walang magbibigay ng incentive sa'yo. Kailangan kaibigan mo si mayor, kailangan kaibigan mo si governor, kailangan kaibigan mo si senator, or kaibigan mo presidente. Because of CREATE, any company now, kahit kalaban mo sila, makakakuha ka ng incentives because you will qualify for this. Look at the corporate income taxes. Ito po yung chart na makikita nyo. Di ba po nakakalungkot yung pinakamataas eh. Kaya po talaga bumaba din ang foreign investment sa Pilipinas dahil ang taas ng tax rate natin. Mataas po ang tax rate natin. Now, the thrust of CREATE is to lower that. Year after year po, pababa ng pababayan. And for the next 5 years, our corporate income taxes will be lower and lower. And what does that mean? We're going to be more and more competitive. More and more competitive. We have a very strong banking system now. Ayan po, tinitingnan nyo, yung non-performing loans na umaakyat to somehow close to 4. Lagi ko pa paulit-ulit na sinasabi, ang non-performing loan noong 1997 was over 10%. In 2008 was over 7%. Ngayon po kalahati eh. Kalahati. So yung iniisip ng ibang delikado tayo may be quite misplaced. FIST is also signed into law. Ano po itong FIST? Financial Institutions Strategic Transfer Act. The banks, the financial institutions can now unload their non-performing assets. Pwede na nila yung mga repossessed, yung mga kanilang na-elite at na ika nga na foreclosed na property, pwede nila ngayon ilipat sa Ayala Land, sa ibang developer for a joint venture, and they can get the cash back to push their business. Alam niyo po, dati, late tayo. Noong 2008, 2 years after. Noong 1997, 3 years after. If we just had this law very early on, then our economy should have been recovering faster in those 2 other crises. Ito po, maganda for us dahil napasa agad. So, looking forward, makikita nyo lahat yan. Property, tingnan nyo, recovering na yung pre-selling ng mga residential properties to about 70% pre-COVID. Sinabi ko to kanina, CAPEX, 80 to 90 billion dati, last year, 70 billion lang. Yung mall traffic, recovering din. And then people are expanding the malls. People are expanding the malls now. Alam nila, they're getting ready for a comeback. Banks, nagpick na yung NPL. Bumababa na yung tinatawag na non-performing ratio, yung kanilang tinatawag na provisioning. So they expect intense competition and they're now looking for M&A opportunities. Ano po yun? Merger and acquisition. Naghahanap na sila ng mahinahinang bangko para makain, para mabili. Okay? Telco, top-ups, pre-COVID na, 2019 levels na. Okay? Ang ating pong CAPEX, yan, 90, 70 billion compared to 50 and 70 in 2020. Para pong ganun-ganun lang yung 20 to 30 billion na dinadagdag, ano? And then the incumbents don't think that dito will be a big player this year. So, they will be all systems go. And you look at the consumer side, ang Jollibee po, 95% system-wide up na. Same source sales, actually challenge. Pero ito pong importante, yung QSR, Quick Service Restaurants, nag-i-invest na naman sila at nag-i-expand na naman sila for 2021. Power, restaurant, ports, gaming, nakikita natin, they are lagging behind, but they're still better than 2020. Kasi noong 2020, sarado lahat ng restaurant eh. Sarado yung port, lalo na yung casino. Eh ngayon po, kahit papano, 50% capacity, meron na po silang kinikita. Di ba? So, peak demand, minus 2.6%. Ganun na po ka-close tayo sa 2019 levels. So, what is this telling you? Mura po yung market eh. Mura yung market. Yung yield natin is easily much higher than 10-year government bond. That tells you at that risk level, it's worthwhile to take that higher bet. So, alam natin dapat na mura to eh. So, dapat nagiging higher level yung commitment natin. And the build continues. Ito po maganda. Tuloy-tuloy ang pagtatayo ng infrastructure. Silently, they're all happening. Ito, napakita ko na to sa inyo dati, di ba? Sabi ko, 248 kilometers of roads, bridges, railways, and tollways to be set in the next 5 years. Just in Metro Manila alone. Pero ito po ngayon, may mga litrato na. May mga plano na. Dati, drawing pa lang eh. O ngayon, nakaset up na. Alam niyo yung Grand Unified Central Station. For those of you who travel a lot, alam niyo itong mga central station, New York, Singapore, Hong Kong, even Taiwan. Meron silang grand station, dun dumadaan ang network ng mga rails nila. Alam niyo ba po, magkakaroon na rin tayo niyan. It will be in Quezon City, between SM EDSA North and Trinoma. Sa gitna ng dalawang malaking mall na yan, ang Unified Grand Centralization. Ano duduktong-duktong yan? LRT1, MRT3, yung bagong MRT7, Santa Maria, Bulacan hanggang airport, dadaan dyan. And lastly, yung subway, dadaan din dyan. So you can just imagine the kind of traffic that's here. South Luzon Expressway Extension, hanggang Susana Heights na po yan. Stage 3, hopefully, iba sa inyo, nasubukan na ito, ha? Hindi tayo maniwala kay Ramon Ang noon, hindi ba? Sabi niya, Balintawak to Makati in less than 20 minutes. Hindi ka makapaniwala. Ngayon po, inurasan namin ang sarili namin. Galing kami ng Subic, umuwi kami ng Makati, inurasan namin ang stage 3 connector na ito. Alam nyo ba? From Balintawak, nasa Makati kami in 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Kaya po pag naayos lahat yan, can you imagine? Ang Baguio will be 3 hours. Ang Clark will be 1 hour and a half or even less. Subic is going to be less than 2 hours. And dito po nakakatuwa, from Bicol to Lawag in less than 9 hours. It's really so fantastic. I mean, people don't understand what this will do to our economy. Ngayon pa, hindi pa natin napapansin eh. Pero pag ito, natapos ang COVID, pag nag-vaccinate na tayo, lahat ito will be humming. Ngayon, syempre, hindi mo pa sila pansinado dahil hindi ka lumalabas. Okay? The New Manila International Airport, ginagawa na sa Bulacan. Ito, hindi nila alam eh. Gawa na ito, yung extension ng Terminal 2 ng New Clark International Airport. Ang capacity po ng Clark, nasa 2 million a year eh. Ito pong terminal na to, ang capacity, 15 million. And it is very nice. The design is taken from inspirations with the Sierra Madre Mountains and Mount Arayat. Ang ganda po kung mapupuntahan nyo. Okay? And that's the reason why Ayala is also building in Pora, Albiera, and Angeles. Kasi po itong airport na ito will be very crucial. Metro Manila Subway, we're also working on that. MRT Line 7 will be operational this year. T-Plex hanggang San Juan, La Union na po. Dati panahon natin, yung mga may edad dyan, hanggang Tarlac lang yan. Hanggang Concepcion. Diba? Na-extend po yan, naging hanggang umabot na ng Pangasinan. E ngayon po, hanggang La Union na. Can you just imagine? From Metro Manila now to San Juan, La Union, it's the surfing capital of the Philippines. But you can be there in less than 2.5 hours. Wow! How that for you? Tapos, dati, reklamo tayo ng reklamo sa EDSA. Kasi isa yung EDSA as a connector eh. Ngayon po magkakaroon na ng BGC Ortigas Link. Meron ng tulay na ginagawa yan, no? Actual picture na po yan, hindi na yan drawing. So this will be an alternative route to EDSA. So people from BGC can go to Ortigas Center and back. That will be a game changer also when this gets inaugurated. So, what is the world telling you? It will be a growth year. But where will the growth be coming from? Not from the US, not from the European area, not from Latin America. Sino po ang pupulap sa lahat? It's actually Asia. If the world is gonna grow 5.2, kaya po nag 5.2 yan dahil lang Asia will be doing it at 8%. And that's where we are, that's where the Philippines is. Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa marami sa inyo, mag-iintay ba tayo for things to get better? Pag naghintay ka for things to get better, it can be actually too late. Papakita ko to sa inyo ha. Ang US, nag-uumpisa na mag-vaccinate. Look at that chart. Look at how fast the infections drop because of vaccinations. When you begin to vaccinate, the infection rate plunges. Tayo hindi pa nagba-vaccinate, kaya yung infection rate natin umaakyat pa. So can you just imagine, if you see this chart, where will the Philippine Stock Exchange be? Where will the markets be when the infections drop? And will they drop? Matter of time. I think all of us know that. Okay, I share this with you. Ulitin ko po ito. Bull markets are born on pessimism. Pinanganak na yung bull in 2020. That was the year of pessimism. It will grow on skepticism. That is the year today, 2021. it will mature on optimism. That will probably be 3 to 4 years from now when people are all going to be gung-ho. And when they're in euphoria in the next 10 years, we will be looking for the next crisis all over again. Ganyan pong cycles eh. So we will have to take advantage of this. If you're going to be looking at the IMG portfolio, at the Kaiser portfolio, you will see there would be